Call this meeting of the Lakeville Planning Board to order. First on the agenda is to hold a public hearing for Nature's Remedy of Massachusetts, Inc., 310 Kenneth Welch Drive, who is requesting a special permit to allow the cultivation of recreational marijuana for adult use. And let me just read this public hearing notice. The Lakeville Planning Board, acting in accordance with Mass General Laws 40A, as amended, will conduct a public hearing on Thursday, February 7th, 2019 at 7:30 p.m. in the Lakeville Senior Center, 1 Deer Crossing. Upon the petition of Nature's Remedy of Massachusetts, Inc., they request a special permit for the cultivation of recreational marijuana for adult use as provided by the Lakeville bylaws. The property is located at 310 Kenneth Welch Drive and owned by TJP Realty. Planning Board members Brian Hogue, Peter Conroy, Barbara Minkowski, Janice Swanson, Sylvester Zinkowitz. January 24th, 2018. This was posted, and January 31st, 2019. Yeah, that's 2018. Sorry, typo. So, public hearing is now open. Would you gentlemen like to speak to the special permit?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for seeing us tonight. My name is Bob Carr with Nature's Remedy of Massachusetts, John Brady. As you know, when you have most of the plans and specifications in front of you, this is for a special permit for adult use at 310 Kenneth Welch Drive. This is the same plan that you've seen a handful of times, so nothing has changed, and the same thing with the interior layout of the building. That's as it was before under the medical program as well. So, I'll let John Brady get into this in more detail, but really the only change when we go to adult use is the tagging of the plan. Other than that, the systems are the same, the place, the security is the same, the building layout is the same. Everything is pretty much the same. So I don't know if you want to speak in with that, or we just want to go right to questions, Mr. Chairman, but I'm sure you have a few.
We could go straight to questions, and if that develops into a, an explanation on how the operations and facility works, then we can do that.
Okay,
How
great.
does that sound?
That's great.
Okay. Is there anybody here that would like to speak to this? Sir? Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Zink?
I'd like to jump right into this. I think I think that the submittal is incomplete, and I'll describe how that goes. Or why I think that. We saw this before. I think the version we saw it was cut off before the last drawing was on it, and I have some technicalities that I want to discuss about this drawing. They're not terribly important. I'm sure we would come together on that. I don't think. I think there's enough of them that I don't think we can. I could vote for signing it tonight, but there isn't anything serious. There isn't anything serious there. We expect to see the services shown on the drawing. Like if you have a water connection, it should be on this particular site drawing. If there's a new well that you put in, it should be on this particular drawing. For instance, it's stuff of that size, and I want to go through someone here on the board will want to go through the actual parking, the numbers, where they are, because as I understand it, this building is going to be used. The last rumor I heard that there are going to be 3 facilities here, and I want to make I want to make sure that we get only the parking that you need right now, so we can save the rest of the parking, or describe what the plan is for that.
We can discuss that in
You
detail
can.
tonight. We're good with the
Yeah.
parking, yes.
I believe.
Okay.
There's so much of it that I think you can handle it, but it doesn't show in this drawing, is what I'm saying. That this drawing is supposed to record that conversation. You know, what you're proposing to the town should be recorded on this drawing, and not elsewhere that I know of, right?
What we're proposing to...
Which your parking is going to be for the people that use this facility.
Okay.
The grow part of it. You're only here for a license for grow.
Right.
Yes, correct.
Speaking of that, on that license, the state expects you, when you announce who you are, what tier are you?
Applying for tier 1.
I read you had 50,000 square feet, which would put you around tier 6,
Well,
is what this says.
we're double stacking.
What?
We're double stacking, so we can double the amount of plants that can go into our location with double stacked racking.
Okay, that's beyond what I know about. So as long as you take one of these tiers, and you'll have to announce it on the front page of the application, I believe.
Was that?
You'll have to say what tier you're applying for, because you can't change it.
To the state or to the town?
The town.
Okay, I don't know that that was part of the thing, that the application that we filled, part of the application that was there, but if, we can, happy to do it.
I think that's a reasonable request.
Oh, I'm not saying
know.
it's unreasonable.
Yeah.
I'm saying I don't think it was part of the application
It's not.
that we received, so we
It's not.
would put it in if it was.
It's
And
not.
that's easy to do.
The application that you received is the first time out for that application. It's never been used before. This is a use that's never come before us before. So we're going to have a couple little glitches like that, but this,
Certainly,
the
we're happy
state,
to do that.
they absolutely ask you who, it's part of their application.
Who's there? You mean
The states.
Certainly.
I brought on, and I'm not going to ask you any more about that, but I think we should know which tier, because that will cover a certain amount of square feet, and especially where we have folks across, if there are going to be a bunch of you on the same street, this will be one way of, it would be nice this is the first one we're doing, and we should probably do it right. I mean, it would be nice if we could do it right,
No problem.
and do the second
As I
one
say, we're happy to do it,
exactly the
just
same
it's
way.
not part of the
Yeah.
written thing we received from the town to do, so we're happy to do that.
We,
I understand what you're saying.
Pardon?
I understand what you're saying. Can you tell me what document is that you're referencing? It's the, is
Okay.
it Cannabis Commission rules or?
this
the
will
law,
be,
Mass General Law?
Mass General Law, 500. And this is 500.050,
Okay.
Did they submit
That would be CMR 935.
paragraph 2.
CMR 935, please?
Yes.
Yeah. Did they submit a copy of their license to us? Oh, they didn't. They just said they were supposed to.
That's a requirement.
And,
Their submission.
Hey, Zane,
yes,
in addition to that, they were supposed to submit a copy of their license, state license to us.
yes.
Along with any
So
material
that
submitted
that
to
would
the
be,
Cannabis Control
pardon me?
Commission. Along with any material submitted to the Cannabis Control Commission for purposes of obtaining that license.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
And I think we
See-
did supply all the stuff we submitted to the Cannabis Control Commission to you in a fairly large packet to the town.
okay, I don't have that.
I feel like I saw something.
We gave 13 copies, so.
I don't have that. That's going to,
I have a copy of the host community agreement. It was in the package.
I have a packet like this from you that was bound this way.
Right. We just cut.
This isn't what you-
Out of the state application
Right.
in there.
Well, I was going to say that what happened originally, the state had a document, this 935-500, and our town council developed a bylaw for us to pass last May out of that, and the town passed it, and you took it and you made up this package from it, exactly in the same order, and it's really handy because most of it just flies right through. And that's exactly the right way to do it, and now so there aren't a lot of
I don't know if they ever gave us.
problems in it, but the biggest problem is that you don't have the permit.
Right.
You're gonna have to discuss,
Happy to
Yeah.
have that discussion.
okay,
On, if you want to have the discussion on the PCR right now,
what's a
the
PCR?
permit, the provisional certificate of registration from the state.
Yes,
We have a provisional, it's
That's
not
from
clear.
CCC.
The state law is not exactly clear. It says that we need to have for your bylaws, said you need a PCR
yes,
in your town bylaws. We have provided not only a PCR, but we have an FCR for our medical license. The PCR from the state, the application has been sent in. The state is generally asking for a special permit from the town that you are allowing us into the town. But your bylaws ask for a PCR. It doesn't say specifically for our recreational operation, it just says you want a PCR. We've provided a PCR and an FCR for our medical operation. So we are approved at that level at the state for both the PCR and the FCR. And so
okay, you have not provided it to us,
Yeah, just a
to the
second,
board that you're
just a
coming.
second thing.
Sorry.
If I could just get a clarification for the board. You
oh no, that's right.
You do not yet have a provisional certificate, or you do not yet have a provisional license for the
For-
adult use.
No,
You have a provisional certificate of registration for the medical and a
Yes.
final.
no, we're waiting on the final. It's supposed to be due any day. They've approved this verbally. We're waiting
Okay.
for the letter.
So the bylaw talks about a copy of a provisional license issued by the Cannabis Control Commission. So provisional certificate of registration is what comes on the medical side. A provisional license is what comes on the adult use side.
Right.
So what the bylaw is asking for is a copy of your provisional license for the adult use application. Now, the state, to my knowledge, does not require there to be a special permit issued in order to get the provisional. They simply require a certification from the municipality that the use is permitted in the district in which you are proposing to locate.
I can't argue because I'm not the attorney, but our attorney had said that what they're getting back from the state right now in indication is that they would like to see the special permit from the towns in this application process. So I can only cite what my attorneys are telling us.
Okay.
So what we've done in other towns, and KP represented Tingsboro in this, is that, and it passed, is that Tingsboro issued us the special permit with a condition on it that said that this was a conditioned upon receiving the provisional license from the state. And so in order to expedite this, we were asking for this and would like to see it done with a condition, just so we can continue to move through this long,
Arduous.
complicated process, is if we could receive a special permit conditioned upon receiving our provisional license from the state. And the other towns that we've applied to have done this. And we can't put anything in the ground, we can't do any, or we can't sell anything recreationally in the state unless we receive our provisional license and our final, license from the state. So in order just to keep the process going in the state, we would like to see us get a special permit here, considering we're no different than what you approved at a medical level, except for different tags on the plants. And the question is, can we move forward, get our special permit, file that with the state, and just try and tick those boxes at a time? Because every time the state comes back and asks a question, it's another month before anything gets done there. So we just are trying to expedite that situation.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to clarify what the
Right.
the bylaw had been asking, and I understand that that is your request to the board. I just wanted to make sure that everybody was aware that that was
Okay.
what you were requesting.
Okay. No, just, I'd like to listen to this gentleman over here. He has a question. Good.
My name's Mark Knox. I'm in a butter from 303 Kenneth Welch. I would like to hear your parking plan. Have concerns about volume of traffic.
It's the same parking that was approved for medical. There's no more people. It's the same size facility that we were going to grow for medical. So we're anticipating somewhere between 30 and 50 people, depending on the size at the time. And it's the exact parking lot and parking's plans that were approved by the town when we received our special permit or whatever the building permit was for the medical operation.
So it's insufficient.
No, can
No,
I
it's not
clarify
insufficient at
this?
all. We
I don't.
absolutely- This is only for growing. This has
Excuse me,
nothing to do
can I-
with
can I,
sales.
can I clarify this?
Sure, sorry, Brian.
Yeah. This is for growing. This isn't for distribution. This isn't for sales.
All right, so,
Medical sales maybe, but medical sales isn't as critical as recreational sales. We've seen all over the state, in various places in the state, traffic was just insane with opening up someplace to come and get it. We've seen people that can't even provide enough product to provide service to the people who are showing up. Lines going out the door and down the street, that type of thing. Parking for that in this area would be insane because there's 20 feet for every person that's trying in line, and the line is down the road. What I'm saying is, if anyone comes to us with recreational use sales, we will demand them to have off-site parking someplace, have a shuttle bus set up by appointment only for the people coming in, so we can regulate
Much
the
like
amount of
Wareham.
people that, pardon me?
much like the town of Wareham
Yeah,
has done.
I mean, they've done it in Wareham, I think they did it in Salem,
Okay.
you know. Now, as far as cultivation goes, I'm keenly aware of a cultivation facility down in Plymouth. It's right behind the place I work. There are no vehicles in the road. There aren't, I mean, the place is gated. There's a shack at the front of the site. It does, I'll come out of the building and I will smell it growing. I will smell it all over the neighborhood and I'll be like, whoa, I couldn't believe it. They obviously don't have the filtering system that these gentlemen are going to provide. But they just grow. These folks just grow. And when we do get someone to do recreational sales, we're gonna restrict it heavily. So that isn't really a conversation for this.
Okay, I understand fully
Okay.
now that
All right,
that's
good.
on the table.
There you go.
That being said, this facility seems to continue to snowball and grow. It's like one little thing at a time. I guess I just don't want to be out of the loop when that happens, and I'm glad to see that you guys have at least planned to address it when
Oh, yeah.
retail sales does happen.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
There's a
I don't
beautiful,
want to speak to it.
there's a beautiful vacant lot across the street from well, actually across the street, across Bedford Street from pretty much where they are, that the town owns. I'm sure the town would gladly lease it to them. All they have to do is flatten out a couple of hills. That someone was supposed to build some ballparks over there, it never happened, but they could park their people over there and they could trailer them, shuttle them across the street, Yes, John?
Not to belabor the traffic when it does recreational, I'll only spend a minute. We can certainly come up with a lot of solutions about off-street parking, shuttle buses, by appointment only. The simplistic one, honest to God, is you simply do not allow on-street parking. And then they have to come up with the solutions rather than us demand solutions that, I don't mind, but whether they say they have to have online registration and so on and so forth, it may carry it too far. We certainly don't want lines of traffic in there, but if we say no on-street parking is allowed, then they have to solve the problem.
Right.
To your satisfaction.
Right, we can do that,
Yeah.
absolutely, but I'd rather have off-site parking with shuttle buses
Well,
and,
which would demand.
and also appointments, by appointment only. And that way, that restricts them 3 times. Yes.
I think that the solution, Mr. Parley had solution to raise the problem that needs to be addressed for having business in there. Because if it's not addressed like you guys gratefully intend to do, then it's on-street parking, the police are called,
Yeah.
there are problems, people are parking in our parking lots,
Right.
we don't want them there. I'm paying for no parking signs at that point.
Yeah, well, that's
And
rules
it's
are made to be
encumbrance on all
broken.
these businesses that we don't want.
Right.
It should be addressed, I think, right out of the gate, proactively.
Certainly the town in the beginning of the business,
Oh, yeah.
you know, so.
And it remains to be seen
They
what
would
kind of
control-
volume we're talking
Right,
about. I
that
mean,
would be, well,
we don't know. I mean, the first few stores that have opened have had, ridiculous, I mean, it's been Disneyland-sized lines, and I just wonder if it's not a novelty that people are like, oh, curious, what is this? You know what I mean? But is it gonna continue to be?
but it has to be, as Brian said, it has to be addressed.
It does have to be.
Yeah, and we're planning on that. I'm planning on
I'm sure
that.
it will.
Yes, sir.
I took a ride to a dispensary earlier today just to see, and I mean, the news may say that there's all these lines, there was nobody in that line today. I mean, they had this shuttle service that came back and forth, and they picked everybody up and you went. I just wanted to see what it was about. There was, I got on the shuttle with 4 people, they took our IDs, we walked up to the thing, they took our IDs again, we looked at the place, we left. There was maybe 4 people there.
That's typical Thursday?
Yeah, no, I'm sure on
Typical
Fridays and
Wednesday?
Saturdays, probably
Yep,
illicit.
yep,
but
exactly.
But usually on a Saturday, other businesses would be a little slower, I would assume. I don't know.
But the-
This is a year away. I
Pardon?
think,
Yeah.
this is
I
at least a
understand.
year away before
I
the
appreciate-
dispensary
Yeah,
opens
but
up in that
but it's getting
location.
off subject then. I didn't realize, I just wanted to be here in case the hearing was about retail sales,
Right.
where it's cultivation, I don't want to muddy the waters.
Right. It could be fine for 3 weeks.
Yeah, well,
Then all of a sudden chaos hits, and who's the jerk? Who they come to, right? Yeah, right. Yes, sir.
I have a question also, because on the approval, they say that there's 70 parking spaces there. I really don't believe that there's 70 parking spaces there. I'd like to have, perhaps Nate Allen or someone actually see how many parking spaces there are.
Oh, he does.
I counted
Also,
it on the phone.
consider, well, one of, they're not, I don't believe that they're right there. It would be tough for me to believe that. One of the things was, there was parking there, but then they took that out and put up another building, because if they're still showing the parking from Thompson Box, when that was there,
Yeah.
sure, there was enough parking then, but that's all been taken out. And one of the other things is they put in another little parking spot out of a roundabout, and I would estimate probably 20 cars can fit in there.
20 to 30.
Yep.
Now, also, there are 3 other businesses in that area, in that building, now, without all these other ones coming in. By the way, I'm at 310, I'm right next to Mark, and, I mean, at 305. There is trucks going in and out of there all day long, so I don't think that the area where the trucks are going in should really be considered as summer parking, because there's just, I mean, there must be 40, 50 trucks a day going in there. And then a lot of times they're actually stacked up on the road waiting to get in and out.
There's an enormous amount of parking around the back of the building. And all the way, if you want to go all the way around to the other side, there's over probably 100 when you get to the back of the building and you go all the way down to the other side. All of it, Tom, we have a guarantee from the landlord that the parking we need is adequate and for what we do.
There's only 2, there's only us there and C-Trade, as far as I know.
Right.
I don't know of any third company that's
The other
there.
end of that building is not C-Trade, is it?
It's all C-Trade, I believe. Again, I'm not the landlord, but I do know when the trucks come, they're waiting not for anything to do with traffic, it's more of the trucks backing up, unloading their
Right.
cranberries and
Right.
moving on.
And there's-
That other
So
building,
that's
not even
going,
our building.
that's going into the refrigerated.
Yeah, that's,
Area.
and I think that's always been that way, if I'm not
It
mistaken.
doesn't go into our side, into our building.
Well, it's quite tight to bring a truck in there anyway now, after they put that new building on. So I would think that, first off, the no on-street parking would be a great idea. Because those trucks are stacked up, 3, 4, 5 of them at a time.
For us, we have no problem with no on-street parking. We don't park on the street, and we have plenty of parking right now for what we're doing. And as I say, we still could utilize the entire back of the building if we needed to, that we don't. So that's, for us, it's never going to be an issue for on-street parking. It'll never take place. I can't, and as Bob said, it's not, we have nothing to do with the trucks. It goes to 234. It doesn't even, building 234, it doesn't even go to our building, those trucks. And it has nothing to do with adequate parking. They just can't pull in, get their cranberries unloaded or picked up and moved out. And the trucks only take place about 2 months of the year when they're delivering all the cranberries at one time. But it really has nothing to do with our parking. Those trucks aren't parking at all, and they're not taking up our parking spots.
So when you say trucks coming in, are they going to the existing refrigeration warehouse? Just,
When they come in here, they're going over here. There's a loading dock that
yeah,
they
I'm familiar with it. So you're talking, the trucks do come in this entrance to go to
go
that
there,
spot.
but we park all the way around here, and we still have plenty of parking back here. We haven't even designated.
And that's when,
But in the
Vehicles.
building that you're in, there is on the other end of it, there isn't that, the cold storage building.
Yeah, down here, and there's plenty of parking while here that we
They have
haven't even
employees
utilized.
parking there that's
Yeah, but
sufficient for
very
them that
few
they're not
for what they
using
do.
the other end.
It's just, it's a handful of people. It's just storage, it's
And
cold
there's only a
storage.
handful of parking spaces over there too, I think.
There could be more, but we're not even counting those for us.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with us. Those are a handful of cold storage's employees that work the forklifts back there. It's, I don't even know who goes back there.
We're basically asking for the same spots. We haven't changed the plan from when we received our approval from you for medical.
Yeah, but this is
Okay,
this
all
is a
right, I'm-
completely,
Just to clarify, this permit now is just a classification of growing. It's for distribution at this point, that they would send out in a box truck or however you would
One
convey.
truck.
The retail
Yeah.
grow that would be allowed by this permit
yes,
would be distributed, not by sale over the counter in your building.
Right.
it's cultivation.
Yep.
And then distribution.
Correct. No, I understand.
Okay, I am going to, I'm gonna try to contact the highway surveyor tomorrow and see if he can get some, no parking signs. And, maybe I'll discuss with,
Well,
maybe.
I don't think it's a major concern until there's retail. If there is retail
I think
sales.
there is now.
Right, well, you're saying that there's a problem now.
Yeah.
Well,
If
there
you're
is a lot
saying
of
there's a
trucks
problem
that-
now, we gotta get rid of it now, no?
Well, I anticipate a problem if retail sales comes in.
Right.
Right now, their parking lot looks pretty full. They haven't finished that little circular spot with lines and everything, it looks like binder.
Right,
I guess it's hard to say, I guess, what it's gonna be until they
Right.
open.
right, right, because you don't want people coming to your place and having a truck parking in the street and have a cop come by and tagging them, right? Because if I have them do it, I'm gonna have them do the whole damn road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then anyone parking in the street's gonna get tagged. You,
I think that's a
and,
great idea.
We're relatively close.
yeah,
Their driveway is directly across from his building. My driveway is, with Service Partners, another building that's there.
Mhm.
If people start street parking, tractor trailers can't come in and out, so.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it would be appreciated, I guess, if the town could put up some no parking signs to keep the street parking to be never an issue.
What's really important for us is to be good neighbors, truly. I mean, we plan on being there for some time, and we want this to work for everybody. So I'd like to, even if we've got to walk the site with you guys, or whatever it takes to maybe communicate better, happy to do that. We're there all week, and I think that, whatever it takes. I mean, and I apologize for not reaching out earlier.
No problem. Again, I mean, I just wanted to come tonight to make sure that if this wasn't for retail sales in that building. That I do have a concern if that happens about the parking, so I just want it to be addressed.
Oh, I can
It's not
appreciate that.
something to address tonight, because
Right.
it's not that permit. Right. So again, I don't wanna cloud and get off track. I want you guys to keep on track in your meeting. We don't need to be at midnight.
Right, so why don't I, I'll get in touch with Highway Surveyor, just have him pay attention to it. I'll have a conversation with the building inspector, have him pay attention to it, and I'll see how they want to address it,
That's great.
right?
Appreciate it.
Okay. So, next on the agenda, well, no, we don't have this on the agenda. Yeah, I'm
No,
ready.
now that we shifted over to the site plan, or if we're gonna, if we're gonna talk about the
Well,
site plan
Zig,
first.
before you go any further with that, let's try to finish up this one. Is there a list of things that they need to provide for us? There is, on their, on the bylaw, right? They have to provide a list of things.
On the site plan?
Yeah,
For the site plan?
no, for the permit, the special permit.
Okay, we're gonna do the permit.
And that's where we were, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Okay. The detailed site plans, or I see, a detailed floor plan. Item 1 of the first one, a detailed floor plan of the proposed adult-use marijuana establishment. So, we had a plan like this. This is the one here.
Yes.
Okay, so for this one, what you're gonna wanna do is, you're gonna have to certify it, which means your architect will have to stamp this and.
Certainly.
And I'd like this identified as the drawing that you're submitting with this, as this submittal. This isn't a floor plan to work from. This is a floor plan that you're showing to the town of Lakeville for their special permit.
Right.
The architect will know. Just identify it as our drawing instead of a construction drawing. The purpose of the drawing. We need the purpose of the drawing. We'll need a locus plan to show that this is only 50,000 square feet of a much larger drawing. And you won't need the wall sections unless you identify where the wall sections go. If you're not going to use them in this drawing, don't leave them off the drawing. Now, you want to show the entrance. How do you get in when you're growing the stuff?
Employee entrance. entry.
It's really not clear to me.
Okay, do you want us to-
This maze of stuff here, you're gonna have to clear up. And this, I don't know what this is, this thingy is. This is a mezzanine, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's-
But
it's-
it's not
it's-
part of your property,
it's
so
not.
leave it out. Just show what you're actually doing.
Okay, so.
But you really have to clear up how
like
to
this
get
is-
in
like
here and
this
get out of
is
here.
Cold storage, do you want like that
Well,
taken off the,
I don't know.
that's how they get in?
I don't know. If it's not clear,
I can highlight things.
if it's not clear what's cold storage and what's recreational and what's the entrance to the store and what's the entrance for you and what's the entrance for somebody repairing stuff, I think you have to keep working on it. But because you're going to have to identify this door, you know.
Yeah, well, it's.
This is the
it-
drawing that's going to be sitting in town hall someplace, and they're going to want to know what's,
I'm happy
What's
to
what?
do whatever it is you want, I'm just trying to get clarity, and we can,
right.
these are easy changes, I mean, I could, but I don't know, it says shared egress hallway, that's what it is, so I don't know what.
Exit only?
Yes,
Exit only. That's important, I think.
okay. exit.
I think that's a real important thing for everybody in town to know, that that's an exit only. And that this isn't, you know, What is this an entrance to?
What's in it, where?
Here. Where do they go? You own everything inside here.
Yep, no, this actually, there's a mezzanine that's over this right here, a second floor.
Oh,
And this is where cold storage has their offices.
oh.
So they,
So it's a two-story building over there.
yeah, this is two-story, this is one-story.
We only
But
rent the
They just
first
created
floor.
a mezzanine, but this is how they get in.
Okay, and they get out that way?
And they get out the same door, and we don't have access to it, it's completely sealed off.
No, if they're in, okay. Well, I don't. Section 3 of, or,
But I'll identify that as the cold storage.
and you identify the way in,
Yep.
into your space.
But, and just for
That's the-
clarification, the fire department, the police department have been over there, they've gone.
But they
through-
didn't keep record. Were they sitting there writing things down as they were, I mean, no, this is the record of your space in Lakeville. And
That's fine, yep. Okay.
And you're going to finish it. Okay, and then, along with this, we get an elevation of the front of the building.
Sure. Do you want
That's a standard thing with it, and we don't need a whole lot of detail, but and even though it hasn't changed, well, it has changed. You've cut some doors into it, and you've got some awful-looking sheet metal right at eye height, but that's,
Talking about the cooling tower that they have for the other side, that's.
no, they already spent that one. That one's off the table.
Okay.
That's a
I tried
joke.
getting a thing.
Yeah.
What sheet metal is?
No,
inside
the,
you said that for-
What you want to do, let's see, the exhaust fans, what do they have, is there anything on the inside of the exhaust fan that's being exhausted there? I mean, that isn't marijuana stuff
No.
being exhausted.
No,
That
no,
exhaust
absolutely
fan is
Nope,
a toilet exhaust?
Kitchen.
Kitchen?
there's kitchen, air conditioning units, they're along here.
None of the
Um,
marijuana, it stays in a circular closed
Okay.
loop in the rooms with charcoal filters. Nothing is exhausted out of the rooms
Okay.
into this space. We spent quite a bit of money on
Okay,
it.
so any of those fans are just conventional fans that you would normally,
Right.
okay?
So the front elevation, can that be a picture?
No.
You want a picture of it?
No,
You
it
want
has to be a drawing.
Drawing, okay. Do you want it?
It can't be a
just of
photograph,
ours,
it has to
or-
be a drawing, and it has to identify what you're trying to show. You want to show that that door is an exit only, the one that you show, the new one, and you want to say, this is the future entrance to,
Extremity.
future entrance to your dispensary, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, are you gonna open a dispensary for medical?
We're not opening.
You're not opening it, so you should-
We've
okay.
given it to someone
Yeah,
else.
we're not.
Okay.
yeah, but-
No, but it wouldn't be that door even with somebody else.
Well, Zink, if they do,
That door is
Zink.
over
Yeah.
here somewhere.
in the future, if they do open the dispensary, that's another
Yeah.
whole
It's another-
They gotta do it again,
kettle of
okay,
fish. So
yes, sir.
I wouldn't
They'll
even
do
go
their
there
own
right now.
Got it.
Is there much else that you want?
No,
Just one
no,
other
no,
question.
but no, not for this drawing.
Couple of plans, that
Yeah.
sounds good?
The front
Architectural
elevation, do I have to
sounds
do the whole
good?
building or just our section? Just quickly.
Just just the end that you,
Okay.
you, just show where you added the door. And added, if you add anything else, and if you added a sign, if you're gonna add a sign, it should show on that drawing. It doesn't have to be colored or anything. Just a technical drawing that shows what you did to the drawing, to the building.
And you said that you wanted, on the site plan, you wanted the utilities entering the building?
Oh, that's-
Water, gas,
On this drawing, yes. Now, here what you have to do is you have to show the end of your, show the end of the property, show the end of the property, show the back line of the property, so you can clearly show what the extremities of the,
Show the lot boundaries.
yeah.
Okay.
And it doesn't, you don't need, meets and bounds and stuff like that, but the line should be all clear where this is, where the right end is, for instance.
Does not need meets and bounds.
No. Show your fire hydrants and show the water entrance. Show the well.
Oh, well, must be gas up there, I don't know. Oh, yeah, gas.
You also have all the septic systems filed with the town. Do you want those?
On this drawing, yes. Just an outline.
Okay, great.
Just an outline, it doesn't
I just want to make
need,
sure that we get everything.
No
this time.
technical information on the septic?
yeah,
Just so,
no.
show where it is.
Don't need any at all, but you want to see where you
Okay,
couldn't,
absolutely.
where somebody else
I
wouldn't
just wanna
build
make sure
later.
Before I walk out of here that
Yeah,
we have a list of everything that you want.
yeah. For instance, they showed all those parking spaces and they numbered a lot of them. So they actually did go through them, they're numbering them. And it does come out to,
They're all painted.
I don't know.
No, they probably need help with painting, and I think we might even,
I'm just trying to clarify something, because I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
where Mr. Nichols is not seeing them, is they're not giving them the space for them, and they need to finish them.
Yeah,
well,
no,
the staging area is taking up a lot of those parking spots, so that's why, but the amount of parking that we're taking up right now, we've got all our people on board, so when we get this approval, we won't be adding, a lot of people. We're right there right now with our people, so,
Right.
you know, maybe,
We're about 20 people, that's it,
yeah,
right now.
so we may be adding another, 5 or 8 people.
so this shows a total of 77 for the whole thing until you run into wetland or, I mean, it seemed, I don't know
We
what,
have storage
I don't know what
parking
it's like
here,
back there.
Oh,
yeah,
we may even,
what is compost area?
we were gonna compost our own material outside. We've opted since not to do that, so we've actually done it, we've got a dumpster backed up to the building, shoot it, so we're doing that, so.
Oh.
So over, we still have the ability to do that. I think maybe we'll take that out and we'll add parking.
Well, you're gonna have to decide before, because that's part of your waste disposal. You either have to claim it or not. So,
Okay.
don't let me,
Okay. I'll just claim it.
yeah, no, I mean, that's up to you guys, but, that doesn't sound like something that really impresses them, if you're gonna compost it either way, but
So is there anything else?
What do I know?
that you Think of?
not on the drawings.
Okay, so that's the site plan.
That's a site plan. Now, going down the list of,
Wait a second. If that's the site, we were just going through the special permit.
Well, that's one of the edits of the special permit is the site plan.
Right, it's this checklist we did.
Yes.
They're developing, they kind of followed this, it appears.
Yeah.
Well, while they're looking, I would just like to compliment you because I found this package that you put together to be very comprehensive for the most part. I mean, obviously, there are details that we're going to go through, but I did appreciate the fact that you did communicate very clearly. In particular, I appreciated the fact that you shared, one of my concerns was that the fire and police would not have enough knowledge about what it is the business, because it's a new business, right? And who
Right.
really understands what's going on, that you did share your plans with them. And it doesn't need to be public, it's not public, but they received it was good. And you did mention here also that you're providing 76 parking spaces of paved, lit, secure off-street parking on the property. No street parking is permitted, and that was laid out right in the beginning. Would appreciate that.
I'm back on.
Okay. we
Okay.
have Some items for the special.
Down to convenience and safety of vehicular pedestrian movement. I think he shows that, as Barbara just said, adequacy of arrangement and number of parking. I think it shows a lot of parking, and I think you should have to identify which parking you're going to use out of the 78 places. Because we're going to a couple down the road we're gonna be counting.
That's fine.
So if you just whatever count you need out of the 78, I think you should identify. Just identify, ask for a number, a particular number. Adequacy of water supply, surface and subsurface drainage, and light. Okay. The light is is there a light problem in the neighborhood? Guys, yeah.
There used to be a street light right there, but it was taken out when they put in that new building.
Whose street light was it?
I
It was
suspect
on
it
that
was
property,
the
I don't know if it was the town's or theirs.
It's the towns. There's approximately half of the light unrelated to them.
Yeah.
The industrial park is very dark, not necessarily their site.
Right.
Half of the lights in the industrial park are red. And Darling has that list. Our electrical engineer went out, identified what's missing.
Okay.
So they're working it, but
Fine.
not related to their property necessarily.
Okay.
But if you drive through there at night from one end to the other end, Route 18 to Route 79, you'll find half the lights are out, which we will fix.
Yeah.
The town lights.
Right, yeah. At some point, there's going to be pedestrian traffic. Yeah.
That, I
That'll be on
really
itself, right?
can't, I mean,
No.
pedestrian traffic, that
No.
road is not
They're
built,
gonna
those
be
trucks
parked on
are.
their property.
You know, if there's no on-street parking, it would be,
Well, they also said here that they had, the sidewalks were going to go from, I'm not gonna look for it, but basically from the building to the parking, it's not gonna be anything going down towards the street, correct?
That's correct, just,
Yeah.
nothing's
So-
changed, that.
Right, so I
that's-
mean,
that's
that will
yeah.
discourage anybody from, I mean, it's not to say that people wouldn't walk.
Okay, adequacy of water supply, surface and subsurface drainage. And I read elsewhere in your stuff that, in your submittal, I think in your submittal, or when you were talking to the community, at the community meeting, who did the water supply? I mean, who figured that out?
figured out the water
Does
supply?
someone have a sheet that says that this is how much water we use?
The-
Did your engineer do that?
Yeah, well-
Can we have a copy?
Well, the well is, it's when somebody comes out and they figure out the well, I just regurgitated that information on the well, and then as far as the city water,
Okay.
that's just, I mean, there's a 8-inch line. in
Well, the
road.
city, yeah, city water, the city.
So there's
yeah.
both those available to us. So I'm not sure, I filled out that section, so I don't recall pulling any.
We have the well and we have city water.
City
Yeah,
water's
yeah,
actually
yeah.
backup, if I
Well,
remember
it-
correctly,
yeah,
right?
The city water's chlorinated, and I don't think you're.
Yeah.
We have an RO system.
We prefer to
We
use the
clean
well,
all
the city,
water.
and there's actually another well out back as well. There's actually two wells. We suspect we'll never even have to ever use the other well,
Right,
but.
and, yeah, and our water is, even city water, we go through the RO system and clean it.
Really?
We need it,
Yeah.
so that's not even an issue
So,
for us.
yeah.
So right now, we're counting on the well.
The gallons per minute.
So where is it?
So where's what?
The information for all this information?
We have a well and we have, you're saying that's not here?
No, it's not there.
That we didn't identify that there's a well and that there's,
Well,
well,
where is it?
okay, we'll get that on.
Yeah.
My apologies.
No. I mean, it's nothing to apologize over. It's just, and I'm not going to argue it. I mean, it's not like you can't get it wrong, but you have
Yeah,
to
it's right here.
explain what it
Okay,
is.
is there anything else?
It's right there.
Did they get the water?
Nope, we did identify the,
Yes, by a local well. Okay, so you want the well on here, and you want the well description. There's when the well driller does, part of his job is he tells you what he did. He did it like a 6.5-inch casing, so and so many feet deep and all that stuff, and it supplies blankety
The
blank
well is
gallons
old,
per.
So I don't know, that's been.
I saw them drilling it.
No, that's the second, they drilled a new one. We're not even tied into the new one, we're
Oh.
tied into the existing old one. I
Oh.
can't tell you if it's 2 years old or 20 years old, I'm just saying I don't know if that information. even
Okay,
exists in
the
building.
the Board of Health has that information.
Okay, yep, so you would like, well.
I would like you to have it too, and just add it to the.
We've had, I mean, we went out, we tested the well water, and they've told us how many gallons per minute we get, so we,
Yeah.
you know, we know that information.
Yeah.
I suspect you don't want to.
Yeah, I think it's only a paragraph.
Sure, okay.
But it belongs here. When it says adequacy of water supply, I mean, you can't say, well, the guy said he had plenty. You know,
Well,
Okay.
it's not for, you know, it says here, the water supply to the building is provided by a local well that has been tested for capacity to meet production requirements. Facility is also piped into city ponds for portable water as backup, blah, 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 and then it kind of goes into this other information. It's their well, if it doesn't operate, don't they have to install a new one? And if it doesn't
Yeah.
work, then they have the backup. I know, we don't care, because if they don't have water, they don't have a business.
Only reason that would be
Yeah.
a factor is the city of Taunton, because it's an allotment in the usage, is what I had to apply and give a projected gallons per day or per week usage for my occupancy.
In order to connect.
But that's for the
To
city,
connect.
that's for the
Correct.
city of Taunton.
So I'm just saying, if it's a backup, maybe the
They would
just
have
a-
to do that.
Yeah.
little thing, or in the future if they ever needed to use it. That's the only reason I think you need that information.
Yeah, I think they identified that they had adequacy, if that's what Barbara just read is accurate.
Well,
Zink,
how much water do they need?
who knows?
We don't know.
He knows. He's supposed to identify it, adequacy of water supply. I'm just
Okay,
saying that the form is not
But
filled out.
she's saying that
I
they
didn't
just
say
wrote in that
it was wrong.
there's adequate water supply.
Well, and so here's the perspective. Adequate water supply, when you're approving a home, is for the habitation of other humans, correct?
Yeah.
It's very important that we have clean potable water in a single-family home, or in some place it's gonna provide housing or business. This business, which is using water for its production, I mean, it's kind of their problem. I mean, if they don't have water supply, they're not gonna be able to be in business, right?
Right.
So if their well goes,
If their well goes, then they use a great deal of water from Taunton.
which they have to
A
apply for.
great, what?
They have to apply for, right? They have to apply for the
They
water.
already
We
got
also
it.
have
They
a
already did.
backup well in behind the building.
And Taunton wants the business. There's no shortage of Taunton water
Right.
supply.
Okay.
Right.
And also, we do have a second well in the back of the building that we haven't tapped into yet.
Right.
And that's its purpose.
And
It's
that's the
redundancy,
purpose. We
that's,
built, they
Well,
drilled that back
irrespective,
for us.
no one's
What I'm
gonna be
trying to
living
say
there.
is, you know, if we want everybody else to go home and they come back in 2 weeks for their meetings, that's fine. I mean, we're splitting hairs now, you know, I think we're going too far into it. I don't think it's that much of a rocket science, you know?
90% of the fresh water used in this country is used by agricultural
Yeah.
uses. This is nothing like a house at all.
I know
It's
that.
gonna be used
And
in a
I know
lot.
when they first came in and they said they were doing the cultivation, they said they were gonna be reusing the water. They were gonna be recycling the water used. They were gonna recapture it and use it again.
We do. We keep cleaning it until there's nothing left to clean.
You have to, you're on a septic system.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Where's it gonna go?
Right. So if you
That's
came-
the next thing.
If you went on
What-
the tour, you would see the gigantic tank farms we have where we capture the water and run it through the RO system again, clean it again, then recapture it the next day and re-clean it again. I mean, we have an enormous tank farm to do all this.
Well, I just
But we
think
never saw that.
you were invited to the tour, right? I didn't go to the tour.
I was invited to the tour, I went and I never saw a
the tanks.
tank.
I saw him.
You saw-
I never saw anything like
Do you
that.
have rainwater recovery out of the roof drainage or anything?
No. Anything off a roof like that can be very problematic because of with the material
The
that's on it.
filtration would be too difficult.
You really want to stay away from that water for us.
Yeah, you're gonna have bird feces in it and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's really the problem. You bring in contamination into the building when you do that.
Do you, any part of your operations, would you consider them to be a flammable risk? Is
No.
there? So if the fire department is aware of the structure that's going in, do you guys have like sprinklers or anything like that? Is
Oh,
it-
the whole building is sprinkled.
Okay, so
And-
there has to be some sort of water pressure in order to maintain the safety of the fire hazard.
The fire department has walked the whole thing inside.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
We've
That
had,
would
and our sprinkler system has been certified, and the building department, and Nate has been through this guarantee that, so we have passed every test possible.
Okay, so for water supply, you know, that to me is, it's sufficient. I don't know.
Okay, I'll drop it. The fire department connection belongs on the site plan also. You know,
Just where it
the
comes
chrome
into-
one.
into
No,
the-
no, the
Siamese connection.
yeah,
The,
the chrome, you know, one with chrome finish on it, where the pumper hooks up.
Siamese
Stand-
connection.
riser where it comes up into the
Standpipe,
building.
yeah.
Called the
Yeah.
Siamese connection.
Okay,
Identify that.
yeah, just show where it is on the building. A proposed waste disposal is the last topic I'm going to personally ask anything about. You're going to be putting everything in a sealed dumpster and have it hauled off-site.
Yes.
And that's all we need to, that's all we need to know. And is that what it says here? That you're hauling off-site?
I wish my memory was that good as to what we wrote there.
Well, it's got to be better than mine. It says a copy of proposed waste disposal procedure here, and see attachment number 4.
Yeah, so this is the last couple of pages in the package.
You get everything that he's asking for. Can you put a list together? Like, keep it aside.
The state's very.
If anybody else comes in for
exactly
one of these,
They are very strict.
You have to grind it up, mix it
that way
with
we don't
the
have to do this
material.
again, because we will.
And
you
everything
know.
then has to be, disposed of and
Yeah.
destroyed. And we put it in a
Correct.
sealed trash compactor so nobody can get it
Right.
in. We meet over all the state requirements on our trash removal.
And it has to be weighed, it has to be done under a camera, and there has to be two people.
And 2 people have to sign it and all that stuff. Yeah,
Wow.
it sounds pretty,
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to make beer, isn't it?
Thank you.
It's a lot
But,
easier to buy opioids.
Yeah, that's a
well,
fact.
Touche.
All right.
okay. Okay. So you're just going to erase that thing off the
Did you gentlemen get all that?
composting?
We did.
If you did not, Kathy got every single bit of it, and if you need any help with that, she'll help you out.
Okay, yeah,
Fill in the
I'll
blanks.
probably connect with you tomorrow on that.
That be
just to
okay?
Certify whatever I got, thank you. Are we good?
Can we?
That's
can we,
it for me.
Can we continue this until our next meeting in 2 weeks?
Certainly.
May I
And
ask
then, yes, go right in, Bob.
Let me ask a question. So this is the special permit checklist, right?
Yep.
When I looked at this relative to the package that I received for here, this is incomplete. This is incomplete, right? Am I wrong? Or is this an old, because this one still had revised. This might have not been our final list.
Yeah, that was revised, because there were some things in there that weren't relevant.
And we took them out?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember if you compared our checklist with what they submitted?
I believe I did.
Did you notice anything that were
Just
left
that.
out? And that's the only thing you were missing?
I believe so.
Okay.
See, what happened was at the initial set, because we needed to hit a certain date to get everything into you, and I think you revised your checklist again
Yeah.
after we originally
That's correct.
got everything and submitted it to you.
Right. And one of the revisions on the checklist where that the checklist, no way, supersedes Mass General Law. That's supposed to go down the bottom of the
That's right.
checklist. So, you know, either way, we have to follow Mass General Law.
We're happy to give you anything you want.
Yes.
The application to the state is you want to sign. If you
Yes.
want us to print it out, we'll give you the whole application. We tried to save you the suffering of having to go through all that.
Well, the front page would be useful, just to make sure that we have the right name.
Okay.
Well, we had trouble about
No.
9 months ago, we had trouble with names,
The front page of our.
of whatever the application is, yeah, just so we, and the place I got the 50,000 square feet was right off of this drawing, whatever the,
We agree.
but whatever, it doesn't have to match this, it has to match whatever you wrote on the application for the state, for the tier business.
So.
This doesn't exactly match this drawing either. They have to check that too. When you send it to the architect for a stamp, there's a couple door swings in that they didn't get transferred over.
Okay.
It draftsman stuff. It's not.
So, because you're our first group to go through this process, we're learning also, right? We're learning things that we wanted, that we didn't know we wanted, before we're doing this tonight, wouldn't you agree?
I didn't know this.
This is new. I mean, we're just figuring this
It
out.
is.
So
It is.
apologize that, we're learning as, you guys are the first people coming through the list, but we'll make sure that those things are updated so we get the next
Is
page.
there anything that was added to the list that we did not include that we need to bring and get to you right away?
No?
So
Okay.
we've given you everything that you need except for.
The couple
what,
revisions to the
Mr.
plans.
Ziegler's wants
Items
from
of
us.
clarification, but I would like to ask you, folks who are applying for Tier 1, which is like the beginning, is there any possibility that you might come back and apply for higher tier?
And we're going to probably apply for the highest tier we can.
Yeah.
And so I don't think we would change that.
At least 50,000.
Where we are today is we're at 50,000 square feet.
Yep.
We've pretty much taken up all the space in our area in that unit that we've leased the entire, it's been condoized, so we have taken up that entire 50,000 condo unit. So
Yep.
we're maxed out. If we were to come, it would have to be in a different building, most likely, and then we would come back to you because we'd have to start the whole process of the building again.
Okay, so there's no anticipation of expanding this?
I think that's it. That's as big as in that unit as we can go.
Okay.
We've taken the whole thing.
Okay.
Okay, so when we come back, if we get out.
Just one second.
Yeah.
So tier 1 is 5,000 square feet. Are they, you want me to just ask?
Go ahead.
So tier 1 is a 5,000 square foot
I
canopy.
made a mistake. We're going for like 100,000 square foot.
So your application, your initial application to the Cannabis Control Commission right now is for a tier 11?
I better hold off on that. Let me just
Yeah.
get that, and we'll get that. We'll put it right on the front page.
Yeah, take your time.
Okay. So, I mean, I can understand if you're starting at one tier, but then over time, you're planning on
Right.
building up. I think the board would like to know what the ultimate canopy
Right.
capacity of this facility would be.
This facility is 40,000 square feet
Of mature canopy?
of mature canopy.
That's your maximum, and then does that include the medical and the adult use in that canopy total, or is that just your adult use canopy?
That's the total canopy,
For the
medical and recreational, or adult use,
Okay,
in that space.
okay.
So when we come back and we get everything together, will our approval with the condition, does that, will that pass muster?
Is that a possibility, to have a condition, get a special permit with a condition on it?
Yes, I believe so,
Okay,
yeah.
good.
With the condition that you're gonna go get a license.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't even have a copy of the provisional license,
I-
though, right? That's, because that hasn't been issued,
That
but we don't have a
hasn't been
draft or
issued, right.
anything.
No, but,
No,
So you're,
pardon me? What do you mean, no?
I wouldn't, I personally would like to see provisional, the provisional license, or a document.
The draft, the proposed, or this proposed?
What I suggest is, why don't we talk about it?
Yeah.
We'll be back in 2 weeks with
Yeah.
everything that you need,
Yes.
okay? Because I'm trying to think of everybody else here.
Oh, I know.
We're happy to, we'll bring you everything that
Yeah.
you've requested, and we'll check and make sure there's any, along the lines, if there's other things that you think of, and we'll
Right.
bring it all back, and we'll get it to you before your meeting so you can review it.
Can you please include in that package the submission you gave for the licensing, so that Kathy can include that in our package for the next week?
Certainly, you want, it's about 200 pages, so if you...
No, we don't want
No.
200 pages. We want to see what's been, I guess, what you're pointing is, what tier are we? Where
Okay, I'll get
are
you,
we?
we'll get you all that. We'll
Okay.
get you a summary page, does that work?
That summary page
Yeah.
would be great.
Great, we'll put together a summary page of everything.
Finally?
Yeah.
Yes, I do, and if the state is looking for a provisional special permit before they issue a license, we're waiting for them to issue a license before we issue a provisional permit. I think there's two people that aren't paying attention, and there's two people that aren't doing their job. I think we should do our job. You know what I mean? We should give them the provisional special permit. Once they give us all we've asked for, and we'll think about what you would like for a provision. We're gonna give them a provisional special permit that we can institute full function after they get their license from the state. Pardon me?
It's conditional.
Yeah, it would just be the special permit couldn't be effectuated until such time as they receive their license.
And we
So
get
it's-
a chance to see it and review
So
it.
it's a
Exactly.
conditioned,
We're happy.
so really your special
We'd be very
permit
happy with
doesn't
that.
become effective until they meet that condition.
Do you understand?
I do. I'd like to see it written out by town council. I mean,
It's gonna happen.
if it's written,
It's gonna happen.
I'm good.
Yeah, it's gonna
Yeah.
happen. Thank you.
Alrighty, thank you. We'll,
Gentlemen,
Kathy,
thank
we'll
you.
check with you and we'll make sure we get the list and we'll get it all to you. Thanks very much, we appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Pardon me? Oh, yes. I would gladly entertain a motion to continue that hearing.
So
Public
moved.
hearing?
Who's here?
Oh, yeah.
The what?
I'd gladly entertain a motion to
Oh, I make
continue
a
this.
motion to
Yeah.
continue the hearing.
Okay.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
You need the date that you're going to.
2 weeks, 2 weeks. I would
Which
say.
is the
3 weeks.
What?
28th? Is it?
3 weeks, isn't it?
The 28th. Yep.
Oh, did something happen on the 21st that we're not having a meeting?
I don't know,
Well,
but
we
it's
did
3
the
weeks.
Deadline for submittals was,
Is it 20?
meeting date was, did we change this?
No, that's right, the 28th, February
Yes.
28th.
Well, okay.
Wonder why that's a 3-week gap, but there was a reason for
I
that.
think it might have been
agenda.
on Janice.
Oh, all right.
Sometimes she ends up with that.
Stay
Yep.
for any other items on the agenda.
I don't think so. There's really, I think everything else is pretty simple. Thank you for
All
coming.
right, no problem. I'm happy to help draft the decision with conditions that you guys come up with.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay?
Yeah, you are gonna provide
I
us
will
with,
provide you with at least the language for that, but
yeah, and then we'll just,
if there's any other,
that should be fine. That really should be fine. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Okay, next on the agenda is to meet with Outback Engineering regarding an A&R submittal, and I do not think they are here, correct?
Mr. Mike Taylor.
Pardon me?
We're the next guys.
Okay. Stenbeck and Taylor regarding A&R submittal for Bond Street. Yes, sir.
You all read the grand briefs, we're going to have dinner.
Yes.
This This is an A&R plan prepared for Todd Freitas. He's my brother on a 17.5 acre parcel on Bond Street, northern side of Bond Street. Property had been previously divided by a plan with former lot lines. So we're just reconfiguring that to create one single family. How this comes out of the road parcel.
Yes. Does anyone have any, gonna look at it? Okay. Here you go, Kat. I'll find it out first. Thank you very much. And I'll just wait and I'll see if we can get a motion.
You got a follow up here, so of the whole property.
AMR for,
Bond
Bond Street.
Okay.
Gotta make a motion to approve.
I,
We got a zinc still
Look at
looking.
that, huh?
No, he's not ready, we're not.
I know.
there should be a reference, somewhere there's a note that says we don't agree that it necessarily agree that it's a buildable lot. Where's that note?
Oh, after the line change?
Huh.
If this was a subdivision, we wouldn't allow it.
Correct.
You see that plan again, sir? What makes you think it isn't a buildable lot?
No, I just want to note that it's planning board's endorsement makes no determination. It's tapered from 175 down.
Right.
We usually want 175 at the back of the
The first feet can't
of the
taper,
frontage.
Right, in fact,
But,
it is.
but in this instance, it's okay, correct?
Is it?
Yeah, as the 160 lot frontage, lot width, again, the 160-foot diameter circle.
It's way back.
Yeah.
No, at 40 feet back. At 40 feet back, it should be 175. Which is all right. You know, as long, there should be a note saying that that planning board's endorsement makes no determination as to compliance with zoning. Like the next guy.
It's reading upside down.
No, you can take it from there.
We usually, if we put in that note, we usually put it right by the planning board endorsement. We'd like all that plan, I'll add that to the.
Yeah, that's all.
Likes it.
Yeah, because we don't care if it's buildable or not.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not our purview.
I don't
But everyone always puts that on.
add it to the Mylar.
Yeah.
You have the Mylar here?
Yep.
Sweet.
Well,
I don't know if
I
I
don't
can
know how
write
to
too
work.
well, this is what happens, your figure gets stuck between a trailer and a concrete
How
wall.
about if we make a deal? You do that to the Mylar,
Yes,
we'll
sir.
sign the Mylar, you come back with copies for her?
That's great, yep, I'll take the Mylar with me and make the change in your ink and,
You
yeah.
may need to send a Mylar with a better pen than that, though.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I'll.
And it's gonna be like a Sharpie.
Yeah.
Do we have a Sharpie here?
I actually, yeah, I do.
I have one.
Kathy.
Fine, there you go.
Want to trade? Give you red for black.
Well, I don't.
Make the change and then.
Why did he do this anyhow?
What?
Why do you need to do this?
I don't know.
Sign this, have to change on this one, sign it.
It couldn't have been much of a difference, huh?
No, I mean, I think
Even
Nate
if you scribble it on now,
would give him
we'll sign it.
give him a
That way
permit
don't get any
anyway.
Yeah.
pushback.
But we're not allowed to.
Let me try waiting for the exact wording if I could say.
Oh,
Endorsement.
it's a-
That's a great deal.
It's a
Here's one
15
from you.
Great, how far is this? This is 235 feet.
Like when I
So,
go on to and I can stop
can't
the
be
line,
more
if they're trying
than-
to submit it like something like that, I can say, oh, it doesn't have this, bring it back.
That's why I asked you to make that list.
But, you know,
16.
still learning, it's a lot to
No,
learn at
but
once.
it's, yeah, I know.
I would say, you know, everything about special permits, so. What is this? Everything, but a bit.
so every 14 feet.
14 feet difference.
I don't understand the issue. Well, the concern was, right, that we don't have 175 feet, 40 feet back,
Yeah.
right? So we've got 160 and 175 here. So we've got a difference of, right, 15 feet. I thought it was
Yeah,
16
it's
feet. Why did I write
15-foot
16?
taper across
It's a
over, what,
15-foot
300
taper.
something feet?
So I would imagine that by this grade, because this has got to be, our 40 feet's got to be right about here, right? No, even less.
Even less.
That we wouldn't have had an opportunity to get that far into the 15 feet. I don't want to approve a form that's not going to be so.
Right.
If that it's not, then we can't do it.
Would you like me to
Well, we
verify
don't
that calculation?
have to. It's an A and R.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
You know what I mean?
yeah, I like it when you remind
And
me of
I'll
that.
tell you what it is, it's up to date.
There you go.
All right, they have to sign it, and then you can pick it up.
That's right, so wrong. Okay, gentlemen, I'd entertain a motion.
There already is one, still, I believe, right?
Yep.
Second.
All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Can we have the shot?
Oh, yeah.
oh, the other, yes, I have a question.
Oh,
For the engineer. Is this, has this just been joined by this drawing?
No, that lot that's a pre-existing lot.
So that this line was already out?
Yes.
Okay. Can I get extra $100? Down.
oh, I put that over there so it doesn't smudge it. What's that?
That's an old draftsman trick. You were a draftsman at one time?
Well, I've been doing this for a long time. 47 years. Really?
Used to do them on linen, remember?
Yep.
Quill pen and.
And they fade, it fades.
Today's date, Brian?
It's so much
Date?
better.
Oh, 7th, 2/7/19. Can I use that piece of paper so it wouldn't smudge, Pete?
It didn't smudge.
Okay,
It's stuck. There we go.
there you go.
Okay, that's,
Thank you all very much.
Yep.
Don't smoke at home.
oh, Jesus.
That's funny.
We like human traffic calls.
What's that?
We like human traffic calls.
I know.
And now, people aren't just texting, now they're gonna be stoned. It's just.
I know,
it's
I
like
know.
something to look at.
Stoned and texting.
Yes, Put it down, please, combination. Thank you very
Or
much. I'll
worse,
bring this back
texting.
tomorrow.
What?
The texting.
No,
Oh,
stoned and
worst.
texting.
Oh, stop.
That's all I meant, I don't want them setting up on sidewalks, so a 6-inch curb will not save you.
No.
Get behind the guardrail.
Right.
Don't get anywhere near the road anymore.
Well, it doesn't, even the guardrail won't help you. Even the Jersey barrier won't help you.
Isn't the law that you're supposed to go out the other lane if someone's working there now? Didn't that just change?
No.
Doesn't matter.
They don't.
I built a dealership for Mr. Quirk, who did the engineering. 38 cars going by, 35 people.
Nice.
I'm sitting there-
Counted?
Sitting there waiting to give a backside to one of my guys.
Right.
I wonder why they bother with putting up billboards. Nobody's reading them.
He's looking at me. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Mr. Fitzgerald? Thank you. Look at, he's got the comfy chair, he's all set down there.
Fell asleep.
I know. If I were you, I would've.
Good evening, Brad Fitzgerald from SFG Engineering. We have a Form A for Joe Chamberlain on Highland Street. Basically, we're just kind of reconfiguring the existing lots that were there, so Joe can build a house and still have access to his backland. The lots have sufficient frontage, they have sufficient distance on the setback, they have the dry land circle touching the frontage, sufficient area, sufficient dry land.
Which one is this? This one?
This one, right?
Yeah.
I have it in here.
There it
Here
is.
it is.
Bingo. Sorry, his name is- We're just working on the property.
That's all right.
That's it.
Yeah, this is the one edge, this side edge of the wetland. There's a pond in this side. And he's got, the only thing he's got is up here, which is he uses for shooting and things like that. So that there, which has sufficient frontage setback area. But right now, the intention is to build a build a house on this lot here. Combine 52A, 54A. And 52A, which,
Yeah.
Oh, here it is, okay.
yeah, it's
And-
kind of
And
this,
combining that, I'm
this, and this are all being combined
into one,
into one lot.
all right.
And he nicely put that right there.
Mhm.
That helps.
What's that?
He's explaining what he's doing.
Yeah, it's just, basically we're reconfiguring lines, but to do it correctly, you gotta make each lot so that they can be deeded out of one lot into the new lot. So it's a little confusing, but
Yeah,
the
please
end
don't mess
result
up the
is.
deeds.
Yeah,
That's all that matters.
exactly. That's not this one.
I found Highland Avenue, and so I just assumed that. Highland Avenue in one night. I guess more than one. Highland Road.
Yeah, we have, protection in case, because some, assessor's records are usually a year behind reality. So when you get these off the assessors, that's what is online on the assessors. But if they sold this house last week, someone else owns it, okay? If you go to the registry and find it, then you see what you own that, if you don't know it's been sold, you only have to go by what's on the official assessor's record, so. And even with that, if it's sold last week, the assessors probably don't get the deed from the registry for a month or two before they can even update their records, so.
Are you good with this?
They do now form it just to kind of cover you back.
Thank you for explaining. All motioned out.
If Brian's ready, I'll make a motion to approve the plan
Okay,
as rewritten.
okay.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Will you sign the Mylar or?
Yeah, sure. Then you bring copies back? Or should we take these? You can take these?
Okay. Either way, I can make copies and bring it back, or if you want to sign the paper copies.
That would be a lot easier.
Sure.
I signed your name so many times, it's sampling plans that I can't even spell my name anymore. I signed your name so many times, I can't even spell it. Every day it's, dozens of.
I was on the phone with them. Somebody asked me what my phone number couldn't give it to them.
Yeah.
It's just, whole sections are just missing.
Well, I mean, when we were kids, we all knew every phone number in our head. Now I don't think I know two.
Well, it was easier when there was only 4 numbers.
I don't even know my son's name. I don't know my son's cell number.
What?
I don't know my son's cell number. Yeah. Because it's speed dial.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, when we first got cell phones, you know, you still had to punch in the numbers so you knew the numbers, but not.
Both my kids and my wife's cell phone numbers.
Yeah.
Well, let's tell
You get the
them.
home number,
Phone number when I was
wife,
growing up.
wife's number,
That's what I was
probation
thinking.
officer.
Yeah, I
I
did too.
remember that.
And my best friends, because I've dialed it 1 million times.
Yeah.
Rather dial that more than dial your own number.
That's definitely the case.
How many copies do you want, Jack?
5.
5, okay. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Good night. See you.
So I'm gonna jump right over and, Ken, wanna come up now? Sure. He looks like he's gonna fall asleep
A little heat, nice comfortable seat. We're at that age where that's all we need.
too. I know, huh?
Okay, I have 5 sets of the site plan review drawings that we voted on at the last meeting, and 5 sets of the architectural. And I have a signing pad.
Excellent. Gentlemen, from the last meeting?
Yeah, but
Ladies?
do we need to make a motion to sign them?
Did we already?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, I think you already
Yes, we did.
voted on it already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's from the last meeting.
So we're all set, we just need to sign. And they're all paper.
You should put them, don't put them on top of these because it messes up the sound.
Let's see what Yes, top sheet, right?
I just put them on one sheet,
You're
yeah.
the best.
The architecturals, they have them on each sheet, but,
Kathy, do you want these signed? You want these signed too? All 5? Okay.
Get cracking.
What?
Every sheet or just the very front page?
Front. What? 2?
Oh, those are each set, okay.
February 7th.
It's only a week from Valentine's Day. I hope you have a game plan.
That's such a crock.
What is?
Yeah, Brian, what's your plan for Valentine's Day? Oh, you can't say it because it's on television, so I don't want your wife to find out about all the big plans you have.
Just took her out last night, it was her birthday.
Oh, there you go. You know what that makes it? Romance week,
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
her birthday too.
So I call it her birth month.
Exactly. Well, my birthday's coming up, so that's how we celebrated in my household too.
There you go. Yeah, she said her birth month for 37 years.
Brian, in your packet, 2 letters that you could sign them.
Excellent.
It's easier to
Yeah,
do.
probably just keep them stacked up. There's no Mylar for this at all? Or did we do it?
There was no one,
There isn't, and it won't be?
not for a site plan.
Okay.
So,
I also went down to the,
Why did they do some in Mylars and some like this?
I'm not sure.
Easier for
also
recording?
down to the, town
I guess
hall.
they're not changing any lot lines, so it doesn't get, this just gets recorded in the town
Versus,
versus it gets recorded in the county.
and then they.
Yeah, because the land is the land, you know, this is just a change to the buildings.
Tired right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nope, here's one. Oh, same thing. Okay.
So usually, like, I guess the engineer or the applicant owner would get this letter, which I didn't know.
Oh, yes.
And then the other ones.
Excellent. There you go. I know.
That's it, 4 copies?
There's lots to remember. Bless you.
It's 4, right?
Bless you.
Just one? Just one?
No, there's 4 sets there.
Oh,
Is this somebody? Like, they're trying to solicit?
It's for a grant.
Oh. Bless you. What's that?
From Mass Development, I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
no, you're reading it, that's
Go
okay.
ahead.
2 out of 4.
You're looking for a grant, or you're looking to help?
I can't,
What's wrong?
I can't find the ones I'm supposed to bring.
They were all separate.
How are they?
Hold on.
Just a cover sheet. Just as a cover
Right,
sheet.
you got the cover sheet.
There's the other one.
Okay, it's
I'll
2.
flip the next one. That's the back one.
I got that one.
Right there.
Uh-oh. Look at that.
Oh, I was wondering why there was only 4 copies. There's 5.
No, I know.
That's only 4.
Okay. But Peter didn't.
There we go.
Okay. I guess that,
1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 5 in here.
How many did you sign? 5. Did you sign 5?
I signed 4.
Oh, you signed 4. Okay,
Really?
so-
Yeah.
Did I get that one, Zing?
You got it.
Did you do that?
Yeah.
Okay, you're good. How many do I need to leave with you? How many do I need to leave with you, Kathy?
Yes, it was in-
Four.
Oh, he had,
4?
Yeah, one sales.
Do you need a copy of the letter?
Huh?
Do you need a copy of the letter?
Do you have it?
I do.
You good, huh? Thank you. You're welcome.
You call in your leave here, wherever you sign up.
No, yeah, those are the covers of each group.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, that's in their package. Sorry.
Oh, there you go.
It's in their other document. That's the good. We should be applying for this. It's not municipal, that's not ours anymore.
What? For the
Hospital,
hospital,
so. I wonder if the property owner-
Thank you.
Thanks.
They can't be municipally owned parcels.
My pen.
Yeah, yours is here.
Oh,
Did it read it out?
okay.
She was the hospital.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you see that?
Yeah, I saw it in mine,
Agenda item number 8.
No, we're going to, we're going to finish, we're on 5 minutes. Meeting minutes, and apparently I wasn't asked to approve them, so I can't say anything. Were either of you at the meeting for August 9th or September 27th?
yeah, I think I was at both, I believe. Did you make a motion to?
I wasn't there,
Oh,
so I can't.
I read these minutes and I'd like to make a motion to approve those minutes from August 9th and September 27th, Brian.
They look good to you, Peter?
Yeah.
I will second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Well, I can't, I wasn't there.
What's that?
I wasn't there.
That's okay.
Thursday, September 29th, the meeting minutes. I was there and I did read them. The only change I would say that I noticed was that it says I showed up at 8:15, but the meeting adjourned at 8:05, so I must have shown up at 7:15.
There you go.
Oh,
That, or I
I
was
thought-
way
no.
past the meeting.
Yeah, it must be the adjournment.
The adjournment, okay, so one of those two.
We had a meeting that adjourned at 8:15.
Well, if I got here really late, you know.
Yeah.
Motion to approve.
Yes, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
This is item 6, right? Item 6.
Yeah,
All
it
right.
just says
Next
Thursday,
meeting.
Thursday, 28th.
Yep, it's on our calendar, right?
Yep.
Can I just ask a question on that? We have this list that you do for us. But I noticed it says draft, I just want to be sure, Do you remember if we updated that?
Yes,
Okay, because I think there was only one we put up.
I think we're in August.
Yeah, that's what this looks like. Okay, so I can see.
Do you have that electronically?
Yes.
Could you email that to me? Thanks. Just so I can,
Yep.
I haven't sat down and put them all in my phone, which is the pipeline. So we have this here.
Can I ask,
Yes, go right ahead.
there was one engineer that didn't show up tonight.
Correct.
Yeah. OPEC.
Pardon? Yeah.
OPEC.
But he's not stamped, I don't think he's stamped in. Is he stamped in with the clerk, town clerk? Is his clock running?
Yes. I mean, it's stamped in by the planning board.
And your
So do
point
we
is
have to do anything
go
with
over
him?
it. Your point is we have to go over it whether he's here or not, because the clock's ticking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I saw this going a mile away when that guy cleared up that lot. He took out Christmas Town? Whatever, what was that called? I forget. Wow, he must really like those silos to do that. I would have torn them down, but that's just me.
Well, he's taking them away from the farmhouse and the barn.
He's giving them to the next guy, huh?
That is really odd.
Yeah, I think so, but
Is that sufficient distance right there? It seems really close.
20-foot side setback.
I think
Yeah.
it is.
It's really close.
But that's legal.
I don't like that. I think it creates more problems down the road, but that's what you get from somebody from the Southwest, in those little boxes.
Yeah,
Is it A&R?
right.
I move that planning board approval under the subdivision control law is not required.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Still think that's weird with these silos, but unless he's selling it to a family member or wants to keep it, you know what I mean? That's his business, I guess.
He didn't give you a Mylar or anything, did he?
Yeah,
What would they be used for?
Oh, do you?
Oh, I have no idea.
Do you want to sign these plans anyway?
I guess so. Kathy, you need some signed in, don't you?
I need all five. This one.
Date.
February 7th.
2/7/2019.
Thank you. We just have 3 signed plans?
So far, yeah. Should there be 2 more?
Well, we took them out of our packets, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So there's only 4 of
There's
us.
4.
There you go.
Whoops.
And we have 3, so someone's holding out on me.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Maybe it's mine.
You got
She got a sneaky one.
Yeah,
See,
that's
it's
the
got-
fine point and
That is sneaky.
Oh, gotcha. Son of a gun. Definitely.
One time my little boy, all over his face.
Hey, you wanna throw this?
With the sharp.
What?
there's the cover.
Yep. No. You almost got it too.
It takes a lot of supervision.
It does.
Yeah.
That one's good.
You wanna pass that back
So-
first?
That's the 4th copy.
What?
I was holding out on just to see if you guys are paying attention.
2722019.
Just like a
He's gonna have to
parachute.
provide us with a-
Huh?
Parachute.
No, it's like,
Okay.
Brian, one more. That's
Yep. Does anyone want to discuss the grant opportunities?
Did you guys look at this sheet at all?
I've been reading it tonight, but that's all. I don't,
So it says in our current call for proposals, we're offering technical assistance for master planning and visioning for sites and/or districts. So that tells me that they're willing and able to work with the town on land that's not necessarily municipally owned,
Right.
okay? That means Lakeville Hospital site. And if we could get some help, I think the developer would probably welcome that. It would probably be a great thing to have some additional support on the development of that project. That's my 2 cents.
applications due by March 15th, huh? Wow. That's not a long time.
after the meeting's over.
Okay.
What's that?
Let's talk to Rita about this, maybe, or.
Yeah, no,
Nate.
I
mass,
had actually talked to Nate about it,
Mhm.
and he said that he could help me, if you were interested in pursuing that.
mass
sample
development
information.
provides the grants?
Yes.
You know, is running for,
Mhm.
running for this board.
I think that's a really good idea.
No, I know.
That particular parcel is the front end of this town. It gives a lot of impression about who we are as a community, and it's been a problem for a very long time. And perhaps somebody from the outside could be helpful. I don't know. What do you guys think? Wilcox? Maybe we'll get some more information for next meeting?
Yeah.
I don't know if it even applies to privately owned, the way I read this, but if it does.
Sure it does.
Might,
A
right?
district, yeah. That's a district.
district.
It's an overlay district.
And it's visioning,
Right.
master
That
plan
it is,
visioning.
yeah.
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 Yeah, if the owner didn't take exception to it, I think it'd be very good for him, you know?
Yeah.
Especially where the
Oh.
cost is with somebody else.
Yeah, I don't think he would mind at all. He's been
No.
very receptive. Okay, cool.
Is there anything further?
Just want to let everybody know, there's 2 listening sessions for the Regional Transportation Plan. The following dates, February 13th from 3:30 to 6:30 at Serpent. And Kathy, I'll give you this so you don't have to write these down. That one's going to be at 88 Broadway Street in Taunton, February 13th, again, between 3:30 and 6:30. You don't have to stay there the whole time, but it's a gathering information from the public about the Regional Transportation Plan. I think it's very important because there's a lot of things that go into transportation that you don't think about until you're talking about transportation. So anybody who's interested should go. The second listening session is in Dartmouth at the Southworth Library on February 20th. I will not be there, but it is between 2 and 6 p.m. if anybody would like to go. So I just want to make sure I let you guys know about that. And the other thing I wanted to let you
Would you
know
do that,
about.
Kathy?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, that was for Kathy. And you know what, Kathy, take this one too, because this one has other stuff you may want to talk about. That one too. And I also wanted you, I'm not going to go into the whole Serpent thing, it's too late and too long, but the traffic counts, if we needed some support for the, you know, what this gentleman's concern was with use and so forth, there are resources there, okay?
For in
traffic
the
counts.
industrial park?
For traffic counts for
Right.
situations, yeah. Okay. That's it. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.